Hey, Chris,
Yeah, Fred.
what's a Mason?
That's a really good question, Fred.
You've reached the internet's home for all things Masonry. Join Chris and I as we plumb the depths of our ancient craft. From the common gavel to the trowel, nothing is off the table. So grab your tools and let's get to work. This is On the Level.
Well, hello.
Hold on, man. I'm searching for something here. I can't find it. I lost something. Do you know what I lost?
Your glasses? They're on
No,
your
it wasn't my
face.
glasses. It was an entire week.
Oh,
I've lost an
yeah.
entire week, and we have to apologize to our brothers out there for completely falling off the planet into some sort of strange abyss, climbing our way back out, and realizing that we went an entire week without putting out a podcast. Shame on us.
I have no memory of what you speak. I just closed my eyes. We just recorded a podcast. Did we miss something?
We missed a week.
Oh.
We missed a week. Ugh.
Dang it.
It's the first time. It happens. It happens. Now, what we could do is be clever and blame it on technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Stupid.
No, that would be
technical
lying.
Difficulties.
No, it wasn't technical difficulty.
No.
What it was is Fred and Chris being way too busy
Yeah.
and
that
not doing a
legitimately-
great job with our cable tow and our 24-inch gauge. So let's just confess that to the
Yeah.
brethren right now.
Here's the deal. It's my fault. I had a medical procedure, a preventative procedure that men have.
Please don't share.
I won't. But it did take a couple days of my attention, and then immediately after that went to Key West for my anniversary, where I just refused to plug in.
And I
So,
don't blame him.
Just got back yesterday, and here we are this morning
Nice.
catching up.
Catching up.
So it's my
catching up.
fault.
It's not his
Personal life
fault.
got
It
in the
is.
way. That's a lesson learned. We got to have some in the can.
That's right. We're working on getting some in the can. And in season 2, that is the big goal. We are upgrading our tech for season 2. Just so everybody knows, we got a new switchboard and a couple of
Ooh.
other toys that I'm pretty excited about. I'm home geeking out on all of it.
Hope you're
so
proud of this technological terror you've
We're-
acquired.
We're going higher tech. I mean, you could tech out on this gig big time, but we'll
I'm
probably
excited
never
about
go that far. The ultimate tech for me is to hire an actual production producer who does all this stuff, and we don't have to do it. But that's a pipe dream because that's
Successful man situation.
that's
not
a
ours.
successful man situation. We are currently in the wannabe successful man.
Ooh, hey.
area. What?
You know what?
What?
Something happened since the last time we recorded.
Please do share, brother.
We went to Hillsborough Lodge.
We did.
Yeah, we were at Hillsborough Lodge. What a great experience.
Oh man,
At the Southeast Masonic Education Symposium. Happened on what, May
29th.
29th?
That'd be April 29th. yes.
April. Yeah.
A
Is that
good time
right?
was had by all. That's what I can say,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
it was such an honor to be
Yeah.
surrounded by such good brothers, and
That was an experience, just a full day of Masonic everything.
right.
Just talking about history, talking about hoaxes, talking about how astrology and the study of science applies to us as Masons. Like my mind was going.
Right. Yeah. It was a fire hose. It was a fire hose of information continuously, and I welcomed it because honestly, I took away. I took notes
I saw you
during
scribbling
the
in your
different
journal.
seminars. Yeah, in the Journal of Insane Writings.
He has legitimately like a from the Indiana Jones Holy Grail book. It's got like drawings and maps and notes. It's like
If I don't get it out of my head, I'll surely go insane. So it's got to go somewhere as it goes in that little
very
book.
impressive, man.
Anyway, for me, taking notes, I got something out of everything.
Yeah.
That was there, and even the conversations that we were talking to the guys, and just
That was some spirited. There was like a round table.
at the end.
Was that what you would call that?
That was kind of the open
panel?
panel discussion. There you go. Thank you very much.
And that conversation was spirited. I mean, people were really passionate about Freemasonry.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They're talking about the value of it. They're concerned about the kind of quality people we might be bringing in. Like, okay, these are, I think, our peoples.
I think every district should consider doing one of these at least once a year. I recommend every 6 months, but it is so good to you bring together these speakers and any kind of speaker, anybody who's doing a speaking circuit about Freemasonry, you know, that you can find who's recommended, and put together a symposium like this. We talked to the Worshipful Master up there.
Great
And
guy.
what a great man. What a great man.
He is. He's the one that invited us to this.
And he invited us to it, and he put him and his senior warden, secretary, Secretary
yeah,
Billy,
thank you.
shout out to Billy. That was their baby, and they put it together, and they did such a great job. But my point is that if you're listening from another district or even from another country, since we have listeners from all over the world, do this. Put this together. He said, Worshipful Master said that it was they made a little bit of money on it. They didn't make a lot of money on it, but they didn't lose any money on it. But it was such a powerful time for all of us, you know, for everyone to get together. That it was Masonic education on steroids.
Yeah,
is what it was,
exactly.
including fellowship, you know, and there was
Yeah.
food, there was good coffee, good conversation. It was like
And the after party. They
And
even had an after party.
the after party was great. There were cigars and whiskey.
Good food. I was extremely satisfied as a Mason driving home that night. Just felt full
Absolutely.
of Masonic brotherly love.
Yeah, I was like 3 inches, 3 feet off the ground, man.
Well, you were like a fish in the water, just swimming, so happy. They're presenting. Clearly, that's your strong suit.
I was very happy with our presentation. It's something I love to do. I just love to make the crowd is the reason we're there. The men who were there, we're not there for me. We're not there for you. We're there for them. And we put together a program, which I thought was pretty good, pretty darn good. If you can't in your district do it, then I would recommend please attend the symposium next year. That will definitely be going on. There was talk
Yes.
of doing one in every 6 months, kind of going back and forth. There was a little bit of talk about that. I'd be a big fan of something like that, but that would not be up to me. But anyways, enough about that.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank
We
you,
love
everybody,
guys.
and thank you to everybody listening for all of the support that we're getting literally from around the world, people emailing us and encouraging us.
Met some big fans from up in Tallahassee, was it?
Yeah, shout out to Tallahassee. That
Group
was
of brothers from Tallahassee, but one in particular was Paul.
yeah, Paul.
Yeah, he was
So-
like a great.
Shout out to Paul.
Experience meeting.
Now we're missing. You know, we're
I
gonna miss
broke
other
your
people.
rule.
We broke the rule. So, but anyways, worthy shout out to all who participated. So today we are gonna jump back into Master Mason out of the manual, and I'm just gonna read from it. This time I thought we'd jump into the to travel in foreign countries because we left off with the symbolism of the temple last time. So let's just jump to 5.19 to travel in foreign countries, and I'll read it.
And receive master's wages.
Which is our way. The wages of a Master Mason is 5.20, so that works out really well. We can just jump right into that. So I'm going to read from the Mentor's Manual. That is the 2008 revised Mentor's Manual of Free Accepted Masons of Florida. It's known as GL217. Every lodge should have a copy of this laying around, multiple copies.
Hundreds of them.
Grab it, read it.
It's online. If you can't find a
If
copy.
you can't find it, it's online. Grab it,
to-
read it, know it, share it,
Yeah.
be all about it. It is worthy of your time.
It's under the education section of the Grand Lodge website.
Right. And it's a really, really helpful website. I gotta say, man, I'm in there all the time.
Yeah. Get
So
your
that-
petitions there if you can't find any at the lodge.
Yeah. And the other great thing about that website, just quick plug for that website. If you can't find something on that website, if you call, they will absolutely help you. Or if you email, they'll get back to you almost immediately with an answer to your email. I had a question about doing some studies about demographics, and I was having a hard time finding it online. And the secretary, she shot me back an email like within 2 hours and pointed me in the right direction. And it was like, bam, done. I love it, man. That was huge. All right. So we're going to read again from 5.19 in the Mentor's Manual. That's on page 23. To travel in foreign countries. The ultimate goal of our ancient operative brethren was to become master masons so that they might possess secrets and knowledge which would enable them to practice the arts of the builder wheresoever they traveled, even in foreign countries. The brethren of the speculative craft still desire to travel in foreign countries, and those who feel the urge strongly enough to study their masonry diligently, that they may receive proper instructions and be permitted to travel and receive master's wages. Foreign countries, as used in Freemasonry, is a symbolic place, not connected with any particular geographical location, nor is it a work of identification which will enable us to build material temples or earn higher wages for the work which we do. It is a symbol which has more than one interpretation. Freemasonry itself is a foreign country to each initiate. If he is to travel in it, if he is to earn master's wages, he must learn its language, understand its customs, and study its history. He must become a part of it to fully appreciate and enjoy its privileges and pleasures.
Ooh.
Becoming a Master Mason gives each man the right to travel in foreign countries in Freemasonry. He has but to learn its works and keep himself in good standing to find the doors of 100 lodges open to him. He will also find much pleasant traveling to be done in the writings of Freemasonry. These cover the fields of history, philosophy, and branch into numerous other areas, leading to countless treasures, which each must discover for himself. These are some of the rewards of the Mason who travels in foreign countries. I love that. I love the way that's written. That's really good.
It's very eloquent.
Right? Yeah.
The grammar and rhetoric is off the charts. But yeah, so in operative masonry, they teach us that the reason for the secret handshakes and the secret words is to identify themselves as being proficient enough in their craft to be worthy of being called a master mason, which would allow them to travel and build structures in foreign countries commensurate with their skill level, which was verified by a word or a grip.
Right.
That's what they teach us in history, or where our tradition comes from is that operative masonry, these secret words being currency that allowed them to essentially prove who they are and travel in foreign countries.
Yeah,
which happened at a time when people couldn't travel freely to
that's
foreign
right.
countries.
And you know, if somebody came to you as a builder, or perhaps you sent for them and they would come to you, you didn't know anything about them except for what they told you. However, because this man had in his possession the grip and secret words of the master mason, the master builder, you could trust him because the organization itself was trustworthy. It was well established, and everybody knew this man is who he says he is, and this man can do the job.
Right.
And I love the analogy.
Yeah.
I love the analogy, right? That what, you know, I don't want, we can't talk too much about it, but you know, what makes you a master mason? Well, everybody who's a master mason listening to this knows what the answer to that question is. You can't say it on a podcast, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
something we all share.
Right. And the operative guys were, you know, that's why. You know, that's what made them what they are, and that's their motivation was behind that. You know, for us in the speculative way, it's the same way, and I like I like the way it takes it out of the operative, which of course, as we all know, is those who actually did the actual work, operative masons, and it takes us into the speculative, those of us who take all of it as an analogy,
right,
for living our lives,
right,
for building our temple. Right, and we travel the word it said here, the foreign countries,
I
as
like
used in
this, say-
Freemasonry, is a symbolic place,
Yeah.
not connected with a particular geographical location, nor is it a work of identification which will enable us to build material temples or earn higher wages for the work which we do. It is a symbol which has more than one interpretation. Freemasonry itself is a foreign country to each initiate.
That's
I
really
love that.
interesting. I never thought of it that way. Freemasonry is a foreign country. Yeah,
It is. It is.
And now we're working in foreign countries.
And if you want to be in that country, you got to learn its language. That's like it said.
Yeah.
You got to learn the language, the customs,
Traditions.
and the traditions and history of it if you want to be proficient in this country that you now find yourself, this foreign land.
It is a bit like that, isn't it?
It is.
They give you that book, and it's coded, and to you, it's like a foreign language.
Yeah,
And
you have to learn the language.
A little instructor that tries to teach you how to read and write and speak in this foreign language. And you do this with other brothers of yours. And, then you've got to prove a proficiency in front of your brothers.
Right.
And I presume that there would have been a similar process for operative Masons where they would be taught how to do their craft, and then there would be some kind of a test, right, in front of some elders that would determine if they were proficient enough.
Well, the test is the
skills they-
product that they produce. So they were down there quarrying stone, and when that stone was brought up to be set, if it wasn't right, well, then you're not proficient.
Yeah.
The proof is in the work, right? And isn't that true? That's true in everything, right?
I mean, show me what you know. Don't tell me what you can do.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, you can tell me all you want, but until you show me, until I show you or you show me,
Yeah.
we're really just talking, And I
then
think
if you can prove it, you're worthy, right?
Correct.
You're like, this is great work. Somebody taught you well. You have maybe it's not perfect, but they were looking for someone proficient enough to be able to build certain things.
right.
So maybe it didn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. Wherever I go in our travels, there's a couple of men from our lodge who, everywhere I go, their name is held in honor.
Yeah, we're lucky like that.
We're lucky like that, and it doesn't matter how far I travel. There are several men in my life right now, which I'm so grateful for, who when I mention their name, they're like, yeah, that's a stand-up guy, man. That's
Yeah.
He's earned his wage. His reputation is evidence of his work.
So true.
And the opposite is true as well. There are a couple of men that when their names are mentioned, eyes roll, and people are like, yeah,
They bring nothing but trouble.
Nothing but trouble. And they have also earned a wage, and that is a wage of negative, reputation.
Well, you said that in the speaking engagement we had at Hillsborough Lodge. You said we were talking about coming to Freemasonry with mercenary motives, and you said people that come here looking to make a name for themselves will make a name for themselves.
If you come to Masonry to make a name for yourself, I guarantee you will. The problem is you it's probably not the name you would have chosen, and we've seen that.
Right.
We've seen
Yes.
some people who are overly ambitious
Yeah.
in the wrong way to make a name for themselves, and they certainly have. And
Sure.
their name is notorious.
Yeah.
But
not in a good way.
Not in a
When
good
you hear
way,
the name, instantly something negative.
right, because Masonry, we preach on the level, on the level, on the level.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to put yourself above someone or trying to circumvent that equality of brotherhood,
Yeah.
it stands out. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Even an EA, who's just learning is going to say, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't he
That's
be
not right.
aren't we supposed to be on the level? That guy is kind of putting himself above everybody.
You see that? You see the people who are trying to pull the political levers to try to advance maybe faster than
Right.
others would if they did it naturally through hard work. That's all here. It's all part of Freemasonry because people are here. But what it's telling us is to work hard and earn our wages. And you can't earn wages without working hard. You can't have an honest day's labor and feel good about it at the end of the night and put your head down and sleep like a baby unless you gave it all. And I feel like those people that are shortcutting their way through life and to the top in Freemasonry and outside Freemasonry probably don't sleep that well at night.
Yeah.
I hope.
If they don't sleep well at night, that means their conscience is still alive.
That's what I mean.
That means that
That's
there's hope.
hope. Yeah.
Yeah, there's hope there.
Hopefully they're not, and hopefully that over time they'll come around. And Freemasonry can help with that. It really can help.
It's supposed to.
That kind of person make adjustments in their life.
Yeah.
And if we're doing our job, and this is something else we talked about at the symposium, if we're doing our job and we really love our brothers, it's our obligation to whisper wise counsel in their ear.
Correct.
We're told this is something we're supposed to do to help our brothers and help ourselves, is whisper wise counsel in the ear of an erring brother. Tell them what you think is going on, and what do you say? Loving, gentleness, kindness
and gentleness, right? With respect, kindness, and gentleness,
Don't
right?
do it with hate in your heart.
Nope.
Be like, bah, you're just a bah. Not like that, but you say, hey, brother, I just want to, I care about you. I see this is going on. My suggestion is this. And they can do with that what they will. You did your part. You'll sleep good at night.
Right. Talk about a
made the
foreign
effort.
country, man. That's foreign to everything in our society, right? Pulling a brother aside and trying to help him get over something you're seeing in his life that's negative, that's not good. That is not done out there in the world, man. Out there in the world, people are you try to bring up to somebody, unless you're their boss, and even then it's tough. But if you try to bring up something in their lives, they're immediately just recoil from it. How dare you talk that way to me? How dare you? There's that total lack of self-reflection and humility out there. And it's just like, and I think one of the reasons our society is so separated is because we don't have those close relationships.
Yeah.
Built on a common goal that we can build close relationships and then be able to speak into someone's life. I can't speak into the life of someone I have not earned the right to. I have to have a relationship. I have a relationship with you. You have a relationship with me. We can speak into each other's lives.
Yeah.
And tell each other, hey man, that ain't right. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to fix that, bro. And you can receive it. I can receive it because we have a relationship with each other. Our society has been so fragmented, and we've all become these lone rangers. That we can't hear it. When people want to tell us, hey man, what you're doing is going to you're going to harm yourself.
Yeah.
And I care enough about you to say something because I'd like you to better yourself. That's the only, oh no, you're trying to harm me. You're trying to, and it's like,
you don't run my life. I run my life.
That's right. You're not the boss of me, said the 4-year-old.
A good Mason should receive it in the same way that you gave it.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you gave it in good intention and to help someone, they should receive it with gratitude, even if they disagree with what you're saying, and say, thank you, brother. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I'll think on
this theme comes up a lot because when we did the esoteric discussion group around the fire, this came up too. This comes up a lot. This whole speaking into the lives.
It did, actually. You're right.
Building relationships to the point where you can speak into each other's lives.
It's great because
I think that's really important.
The guys that are really studying Freemasonry and really working at it are the ones saying that they do this, and everyone should do this. I think it's something that if you're going to be serious about it, it needs to become part of your life, is caring enough about somebody to help them correct something in their life. In Freemasonry, that's why we're all here, right?
Supposedly.
So
allegedly.
I mean, that's kind of expected, I think, is for people to help you check yourself. And that's what we're doing, is working together. If you were working side by side in a quarry in the 1300s with another Mason, and you saw him constantly messing up these bricks that took them a month to get out of the freaking granite.
Right.
Are you just going to let him keep doing it?
No.
Are you going to go over there and be like, hey, brother, look, this is how you do it. This is how I see what's happening over there. And I think if you follow it this way, you're going to save us all a lot of time because we're going to get this building done faster if you do the work right. And that's what we got to do.
Right. And if he can't receive that, then he's going to be off the team.
Imagine.
So
how long is he going to stick around? How long is everyone
they're
going to
not-
let him continue?
No one's going to let him because
Right.
we've got to produce these stones.
Right.
Because a fellow craft is coming by any minute who's overseeing us, and he's going to be like, this is wrong. Who's doing this? And he's going to say, this is kind of that next level, right? So a group of men in a quarry doing quarry work, one of them's not holding up the standard, and they're trying their best to help that brother to get to the standard. And he refuses to do so. What's going to happen is it's not going to be in their hands anymore. It's going to go to the next level. The next level is going to be the foreman's coming by. It's like, dude, if you can't fix this, we're going to have to go a different way. Yeah. They're going to be all angry and mad, and it's just going to go higher and higher until they find themselves on the outside of the quarry, man. With no job.
Yeah. Hopefully the system works itself out of those kinds of people.
But again, let's go back to the beginning. Based on deep relationships between small groups of men. You can't have deep relationships with every single Mason in the world. It's just not that way. Not honestly. But everyone has 4 or 5 guys in their lives. And I would encourage everybody listening right now, if you can, find those 4 or 5 guys and reaffirm to them this week, that, hey, do we have the kind of relationship where I can tell you things and you can tell me things that, negative things in our lives that we might need to change? Or do we have that relationship? Go find those guys and say that, and just wait for the look on their face. That'll tell you if you do or not right there. Becoming a Master Mason gives each man the right to travel in a foreign country in Freemasonry. He has but to learn its work and keep himself in good standing to find the doors of 100 lodges open to him. He will also find much pleasant traveling to be done in the writings of Freemasonry. These cover the fields of history, philosophy, and branch into numerous other areas leading to countless treasures which each must discover for himself. These are some of the rewards of the Mason who travels in foreign countries. I just love the way that ends, man. That's really good,
We each find our own riches.
Well, we love story, right? We telling truths through stories and through analogies is how we learn.
Yeah.
As humans, it's a time-tested method of teaching. From the Gospels and the parables in the Gospels down through history, we learn through stories. And I just love the way. Freemasonry is right up my alley, man, because that's the way I learn. I like to tell stories, and I like to hear stories because they're memorable, and they can speak into our lives. So the next one, 5.20, is the wages of a Master Mason. I have not read this, so I'm gonna.
First time read through.
First time read here. I know the first one sounded like a first time read.
We'll score you on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, here we go. Our ancient operative brethren performed manual labor and received these elements, which would contribute to their physical welfare. The normal wages of a master were, therefore, corn, wine, and oil, together with the other necessities of life as these were required. The wages of a speculative Mason must come from within, as he is concerned with moral rather than physical labor. PGM Carl H. Cloudy has aptly said that each brother asks what he will and receives that for which he labors. I worked for Menland's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life would have paid. The intangibles of love, friendship, respect, opportunity, happy labor, and association are the wages of a master who earns them. Not all do earn them, hence the phrase in the mouth of the lodge officer, descriptive of his duties, to pay the craft their wage, if any be due. If any be due. So that little quib right there, I'm going to have to go back. That was a little tough that was a little old English there. But
I get the gist of it, though. I think it is true and powerful. Like, we're not all trying equally. And the people that try the hardest should get the most rewards. Right.
The intangibles of love, friendship, respect, opportunity, happy labor, and association are the wages of a master who earns them.
Well, you're talking about just living a fulfilling life there.
Right,
You have
right.
friends that trust and respect you. You have family that you love and that trust and respect you. And hopefully, through your hard work and respect, you've scratched out a living for yourself and you're not struggling for money either. That's a fulfilling life, a sense of security, happiness, and fulfillment of purpose. That's and that's there you go. They're saying this is the kind of life you can live if you do the work of trying to improve yourself.
Right.
Stay
I hear
focused on it.
Some Masons say to me, well, I wasn't getting much out of it. I don't go to Blue Lodge anymore because it's just, it's just the same old thing, and it's like an HOA meeting, and I'm just not really getting, anything out of it. And in my mind, even though I really haven't pondered this much, that's why reading the Mentor's Manual is such a good idea.
What are you giving? What are you giving?
Right.
to it?
You're asking for wages that you haven't earned.
Right.
Is really what you're doing. You're expecting wages and complaining that you're not getting wages
Yeah.
that you have not earned.
You haven't paid your dues. You haven't done the work.
And that's what it is. We are a work-based fraternity. You're going to get out of this what you put into it. And I just think of Brother Dobbs, who that's his thing, participation, man.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the number one advice you could give to us, Brother Dobbs?
I asked him
one
that.
word, participation.
It's so true.
Right.
And he told me that's been his whole Masonic career. He just shows up.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a plan. He's just around.
He sure looks like he has a plan.
But, his plan is to just be there. And
Right.
when you're there and when you show up and when you're competent, people are going to ask you to do things. And you wind up doing more work. And that's what happens to him.
And it's enriched his life. I'm sure he'd tell us that right now,
Yeah.
or when we interview him at Grand Lodge. Wink, wink.
Well, you look at the respect that he has from the people that we know, and it's not just respect out of fear, it's respect out of love, because he did it the hard way. he didn't ask, he didn't politic for anything he's gotten. Other people came to him and were drawn to him because of what he offers to the craft.
Right. It's a great example for all of us.
Yeah, and we
follow,
have multiple people in our district we can point to. and
Absolutely.
say that.
Yeah, I say that a lot, and I brag a little bit on
We have
our
to brag.
district.
We're in it's like a magical place in Freemasonry that we get to play in here.
Yeah, it's so true. And I want other people from other Florida districts to call up and disagree and brag on theirs.
Yeah.
Which would be great. And by the way, our new tech is going to allow us to take callers.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I cannot wait for that. That'll be
That'd
awesome.
So we'll start live streaming then, and while we're recording, and maybe
We'll try it. Yeah,
see
we'll
how that goes.
we'll be able to do all that if
we
the
can get engaged users in real
if Fred
time.
can get over the learning curve, which I think he probably might be able to. We'll see how that goes.
The confidence.
So I'm going to try that quib again. You ready? I worked for Menlin's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life would have paid. That's pretty good. That's pretty
Menlin's
good.
hired?
I don't know who. I guess that's a person. I worked for someone's hire, only MENIAL''. Menel's hire. I worked for Menel's hire. Maybe it's an old English word.
Oh, menial hire.
Oh, menial's hire.
So that's work that does not.
Wait, let's just stop right there. Stop right there. It is menial. And I'm even wearing my glasses right now. I worked for menial's hire. So menial meaning mundane kind of labor, right? Common labor. I worked for commons labor's hire. It's common.
Yeah.
Right? Menial meaning common. So I worked for menial's hire,
It means
only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life would have paid.
There you go.
The wages of a speculative Mason must come from within, as he is concerned with moral rather than physical labor. So, and that's what it is. This right here, 5.2. I'm going to encourage everybody, because I'm going to do it. Study this a little bit, ponder this, and meditate a little bit on this. I think there's a lot here. There's a lot here for esoteric teaching and understanding here. The wages of a master Mason, and I really like the way this is worded. We can't just jump into it here on a podcast and just spout out some great wisdom, which tells you two things. One, there's a lot of wisdom to be gleaned out of this, and two, we're we don't know what we're doing. So,
Well, I mean, this is really interesting because, if somebody that's profane heard you say that, they'd be like, you got a cult there. They're trying to force you to work as much as possible for free for them.
oh, right.
But
Yeah.
what you're saying in that section, what they're saying is this, as men, we want to work hard, right? We want to, test my back. I'll lift some logs. I'll go to the lodge and chop weeds and stuff. That's not the work they're talking about. They're talking about moral work. They're talking about working on your internal soul.
That's right.
And morals of yourself inside, which is not easy for men to do because we want to exert our masculinity on the world and chop trees and split wood and do work like that because that's what makes us feel manly. But this also goes back to something that I think I brought it up and you hammered it home at the speech we gave, is the toxic masculinity thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So masculine doesn't mean necessarily chopping wood into pieces with a big axe. That's not like the ideal of masculinity. The ideal of masculinity is helping people weaker than you and protecting people that don't have your strength. That's masculine. And so that's not something that we're born with. That's something we have to work at, I think.
Right. Absolutely.
And the way that we work at it is doing the work in Masonry, which is what you just called people to do. Reflect on that. Meditate on that. Think about that. That's the work that we're supposed to be doing in Freemasonry.
Right. Think critically, thinking over issues and discovering what do I believe? Why do I believe it? That's critical thinking 101, But talking about the toxic masculinity, the concept is we're a fraternity. So we're all men. So we're already got some points against us in the world out there.
In the modern society.
The modern society doesn't like fraternity. So I'll just say this. And I said this at the symposium. I think it's worth saying again. Did you ever think that the phrase "it's good to be a man" would be a controversial phrase? Could anyone have ever thought that phrase? But it is. It's extremely controversial. To say it's good to be a man is a controversial phrase.
Yeah.
But the phrase toxic masculinity, I still maintain, even though I got a little bit of pushback at the symposium about it, I still maintain is an oxymoron. They don't go together. If it's toxic, it's not masculine. It's something different. It's because masculinity isn't toxic. Masculinity is, like I said at the symposium as well, we're the protectors, the providers. We're supposed to give of ourselves. Yeah. Not do what I want, but do what must be done for the good of the family, for the good of the community, for the good of the fraternity. That's what masculinity is. There's nothing toxic about that.
The things that are identified as toxic masculinity are animal masculinity, right?
Right.
Things that an animal can get aggressive, an animal can beat you, an animal can do all those things.
Right.
That's not masculine.
No, that's not it. It's a misdiagnosis. And I still agree. I think that the brother that came up to me and wanted to kind of disagree with me.
I believe he called it alternate light. I'd like to offer you some alternate light.
Yeah. And I'm going to let that one go by. We love you, brother. Mm-hmm. But I think we were really going on semantics. I think we both agreed with 100%. Each other.
And
but
that person is big on semantics.
Right. He was wording it a little differently than I would have. But I think the point is right. If you disagree, shoot us an email, man. And let us know.
Think about it. Like, what that is masculine is overcoming our animal nature as men. That's masculine.
Right. And I've used the analogy before about Cinderella Man, the boxer when he's told they didn't have enough food and his daughter said she was hungry, and he had to go work 12 hours on the dock. So he made up the story about how to dream about eating a big steak, and he woke up this morning just full. He couldn't eat another thing, and he gave that last piece of bologna to his little girl. And went off and worked 8 hours on the docks on an empty stomach. That's masculinity.
Right.
That's a picture of masculinity. That's what we, in my opinion, that's what we're working to be
Yeah.
in this craft of ours. We're working to be those kind of men, those not
Better men.
better men, good men, better men, great men.
Yeah. Protect, sacrifice, give more than you have, as long as it doesn't hurt you. Or your
All right, I want to
family.
do this one. I want to do this other one because this next one is going to mean more and more as time goes on, and I'm just going to leave that one there. This one is 5.21, the three ruffians.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. You had me going there.
I had you going, but then all of a sudden it clicked.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and anybody who's listening, you guys don't know what we're talking about
It'll
here,
click
but
for you one day soon.
it will click. It will click for you. So there are many symbolic explanations for the appearance of these three in our ritualistic drama. The attempt made to obtain a knowledge of secrets not rightfully theirs, and the dire consequences of their acts are symbolic of many things.
Yeah.
To attempt to attain the knowledge of the divine truth by means other than as a reward for faithful service and the performance of a task of service and the performance of a task of preparing for its reception and enjoyment makes the culprit both a thief and a murderer. Thus, each is reminded that rewards must be earned rather than secured by violence. The ruffians are also the passions of the self, which a Mason came here to subdue. There is another symbolism.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that good?
That in the plays, we have these three ruffians that symbolize different things.
Right.
You can look at it from several different angles.
Yeah.
And one that they're telling you here is they represent those passions that debase us.
Right.
The bad things that can kill us.
Right. Yeah.
They can kill us if they're left unchecked.
Right.
And we have to get ahead of that. We have to get ahead of those passions inside of us and subdue them
Yeah.
so that they don't kill the best parts of us.
Yeah, and it's within the drama. It's it's give me what I want, but you haven't earned it. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
I'm warning you. Give me what I want. And then in
Right.
the end, this drive to circumvent hard work, honesty, and integrity leads all the way to the end, which is murder. It's like, and it's just such a great analogy of the passions and superfluidities within us that we must tame. Right,
And it will kill you.
Yeah, and that's what we came here to do.
The
We came here
good
to
in you
subdue those.
will die and
Yeah.
be murdered by your own passions.
That's right. And in the end, bring death, spiritual, even physical death. Relational death, financial death.
And you, as a man, probably have people that rely on you.
Yeah.
You probably have other people that are going to get hurt if you can't get this stuff in check.
Yeah, and Masonry aims to do exactly that. And that's one of the reasons why I love our craft so much. There is another symbolism quite applicable to the world of today.
I like this symbolism too.
The first of these ruffians strikes the seat of man's articulation.
Right.
When man is enslaved, the first of his privileges to be denied or curtailed is that of free speech
Right.
and unrestricted communication with his fellows. The seat of man's affections is the second area attacked.
Mm-hmm.
For those who would subjugate a people, oppress the families to... I don't know what's going on here. For those who would subjugate a people, oppress the families to force compliance to their dictates. The third attack is made upon the seat of man's reason. For his enemies will always seek to destroy the mind as the final step towards enslavement. Again, this must be studied. We must go back in season 2.
You'll never see a Master Mason degree the same once you start thinking about this stuff.
I'm telling. Oh, and we went to an outdoor Master Mason degree, which was so awesome.
Wow.
With the tiki torches going and
Wow.
everything, I was just like, it was so awesome. And I was paying very close attention to the three ruffians. And
why?
well, we'll find out why.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, very close attention. There is so much to be learned there.
Yeah.
So much to be learned there. Though we strive to not be like them, we are them.
Yeah,
we
we're
are
born.
them. And
we're born ruffians.
We're born ruffians, man. And
Yep.
and if
they're Masons. The
they're
ruffians
Masons.
are Masons.
They're Masons. They died Masons.
That's
they
right.
lived as Masons, and they died as Masons.
Were they
That's
good
right.
Masons? No.
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 but Masons nonetheless.
Yeah.
Wow, there were brothers. They were our brothers.
That's right.
Because you're always going to be a Mason.
But it's exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. There are certain Masons that want shortcuts.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
And you, my friend, are a ruffian trying to take something you haven't earned.
And we've all done it. We've all done it. But
Sure.
we have to acknowledge it. If you can acknowledge, yes, I've been a ruffian in this area of my life.
Because what happens if the ruffian gets the word? What happens if the ruffian is in charge?
Anything can
of
happen.
things? Yeah, dangerous times.
Bad things can happen. That's right. Anything can happen. No, who knows how bad it could get?
It wouldn't be good. And that's our responsibility, is to be vigilant and hold ourselves accountable and make sure that ruffians don't rise to leadership in Freemasonry or in your lodge, in your district, and in the state.
Right. So the first ruffian,
This is good, right? It's like a commentary on society now.
It really is, because the first ruffian
governments.
gives up his free speech
He's
and
trying to
communication with his fellows.
trying to take your speech from
Right.
you.
Yeah. He's trying to take it, and then the second
one's
one,
trying to take your ability to create a family.
for those who would subjugate.
Watch what's happening in the degree. Watch the areas that they're attacking on the bodies with those tools, and you'll see it coincides with what this is saying.
Right.
The first guys then
Right.
die, and he's attacking something that's representing something else, which is society. In order to try to control you and subjugate you, will try to take your voice. And free speech is held to such a high esteem in this country.
Right.
And the creators of our country recognize this and put it in writing in the beginning of our country. More proof that Freemasons founded this country on Masonic principles, in my view. But it's so true. And then the second ruffian, okay, we didn't succeed in taking away his voice. We'll just control him through his family.
Right.
And that is what a society will try to do, is to control you through. They'll try to indoctrinate the youth.
Right.
They'll try to indoctrinate your wife to think whatever they can't get you to think.
They'll trash the economy, so you have to spend more time at work than at home. Right. Yeah.
Taking you away from your family. Yeah. And the third ruffian, if all else fails, mind control. I will control your thoughts through the media, the television, the news, everything in this world. I will control your thoughts if I can't control you any other way. Wow. We have to be vigilant against these things that are happening in our society today, every day. They try to take your voice, they try to control your family, and they're definitely trying to control your mind.
Right. Yeah. And our craft, the work, and what we're trying to do on this podcast, and everything that we're trying to do with the symposiums and talking to people, and the work we do within the lodge, is all about giving men the knowledge to free themselves from those ruffians, because that's what's going to free you is understanding and wisdom, and knowledge is going to free you. That's why it's called the liberal arts. Right? It's not because their liberals are the ones teaching them.
No.
It's because it liberates you.
Right.
The knowledge of the 7 arts and sciences, 7 liberal arts and sciences, is that knowledge, that understanding will liberate you from ignorance. It will liberate you from these ruffians, the ruffians that are within you. It'll liberate you from it.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing that it's all in here. It's in those in our 3 degrees, and culminating in that last drama.
Yeah.
And if you're an EA or a fellowcraft, you got a lot to look forward to, because it's pretty amazing. And anytime I get to see a Master Mason degree, I try to go, because it just it profoundly affects me every time I go. And I was sitting next to the Worshipful Master of Inglewood Lodge, shout out, and I was thinking in my mind, I'm never going to get tired of this. And he literally said out loud, as many times as I've seen this, it never gets old.
He said what you were thinking.
He said exactly what I was thinking as we were just sitting there.
Vibes.
Total vibes, man. And it was just like,
you're sitting outside. It got dark.
The moon was out.
The torches are there.
The rainstorm
We thought it was
went
gonna
right
rain.
around us.
We got
Literally went
nothing.
around us.
Yeah, you can hear the whatever animals in the dark.
Whippoorwill. A
Is that
whippoorwill.
what that was?
Yeah, I'll
The
spare you the story of the whippoorwill.
Animals in the dark, the fire, the clouded canopy over our heads.
It was awesome.
And you're in robes doing a play that symbolizes what I mean. Look, you just said two different ways that you can look at the three ruffians. One is that the enemy is within us. We are
Right.
the enemy.
Yeah.
And two is that the government could potentially be the enemy
It's
of
true.
where you live. They could be trying to control you.
Yeah.
Or maybe not the government, but there are systems of control outside yourself trying to control you. So
It's becoming pretty obvious. I mean, it's certainly getting free speech is certainly under attack. The
Oh,
family, is certainly under attack. Regardless of how you define what a family is, it's getting harder and harder to maintain a home. Just is, man, financially and even spiritually. And then that third is everywhere I go in this society of ours, somebody's trying to influence me into believing what they believe over what I know is to be true. And it's so true. The three ruffians are alive and well and traveling all over the place. That's right.
yeah, and we have a lot of work to do.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
even if we can beat ourselves internally, we still have to deal with all this external stuff.
That's right.
But
That's
it
right.
starts with awareness, right?
It starts with awareness
You've
and
gotta
humility.
know.
Humility too. You have to be able to. You got to be willing to admit it. If you can't admit that the three ruffians live within you, then
Yes.
I would say start there. Start
Yes,
there.
agreed.
Start there. Take a look at the ritual. If you're a master mason, take a look at the ritual. And Chris just kind of expounded upon the three of them because he knows this stuff by heart. I have to actually read it and expound about the three ideas behind each of the ruffians and identify those things within yourself and begin to be honest enough to begin to work on those things. I know that's what I'm going to do.
This is like the pinnacle of the Master Mason degree.
Right.
Is the idea of these three ruffians and the things they represent is what Freemasonry is about. In the Entered Apprentice degree, you were given some tools to start to control yourself. In the Fellowcraft degree, you were given the 7 liberal arts and sciences.
Right.
And if you can, educate yourself.
Liberate your mind.
Yeah. And put more information in your mind to give yourself more power over yourself and your external world. And now in the Master Mason degree, it's time to put all that stuff into practice in reality.
Right.
And do the work of changing, killing the ruffians inside yourself and guarding yourself against the ruffians you can't kill outside yourself.
Right.
You can't kill those ruffians.
No.
All you can do is guard against them.
And actually, in the end, the ruffians brush up against Masonry to the point where Masonry will not yield to them. And I'm not going to give away. I'm saying it this way because I don't want to give away any of it. But the three ruffians brush up against the ultimate form of Masonry that will not yield to it, and in so doing pays the ultimate price for that. But that's not the end of the story. That is not the end of the story. That's actually the beginning of the story.
True.
Which I
true
find to
Freemasonry,
be
isn't it?
So true.
We were at this Master Mason degree in Inglewood, and one of the brothers stood up and said, "I'm so glad to be at the end of the journey." And it popped into my head immediately. And the worshipful master that night, Bob, said, something's caught into his mind too. And he was like, "This is not the end of a journey. This is the beginning of your journey, brother. I want you to understand what's happening here.
Right.
This is just starting for you now. And the real work begins today. And this is going to be the rest of your life that you're going to be toiling away trying to kill these ruffians and learn how to guard against the ruffians you can't kill." He didn't say it like that, but that's what he's saying.
That's what it is.
It's the honest truth about Freemasonry.
That's right. It is. If it's a cult, it's the best cult I've ever heard of in my life. Because I'm glad to be a cultist.
It sounds
is
like a cult because you say, "I want
right.
you to work hard for me for free. I want you to, it sounds bad,
right?
And it could
right.
look bad too. If I was thinking about that outdoor Master Mason degree, it could look sinister if someone was peeking through the bushes and just happened to see us.
Right? Yeah.
They'd be like, "What in the
Dude, it's a Klan meeting.
Oh my God, this is terrifying. It looked, to me, I see the beauty in all of it, right?
Absolutely.
I see nothing but beautiful, like poetry, artistry, lessons in life, a person receiving an awakening.
Right.
How honorable to be in the presence of another person's awakening.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I just see nothing but greatness in it. But I totally could see how an outsider that doesn't understand any of the context sees evil.
Right.
And something scary.
The characteristics of a cult is a cult will pull you away from your family,
Right.
pull you away from society, and bring you into this small group and not let you out of it. Freemasonry, we come in, but then we are encouraged to go back out and to live lives, exemplary,
Better for our family.
better lives, and be a better churchman, be a better father, be a better husband, be a better American, whatever it is, to be better. That's not a cult. That's not a cult. That's a society that is a benefit to the society at large, for sure. So, well,
there's this degree, and this is written out so you can say it. It says it in plain English, written out in the Red Book, that this degree teaches us that we should live virtuous and upright lives, ever walking the path of truth and justice, even though our lives may be endangered by doing that.
That's right.
This is what Freemasonry is trying to give us, the ability to stand up and be upright people and walk in this broken world that we all live in as an example, a shining light of virtue, of uprightness and justness. Even though they might kill you for it, it's worth dying for.
Wow.
To be an example.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. That speaks to me on so many levels, So, well, brother, I don't know what else to say. That was some deep stuff. It was deeper than we could obviously go into during the show. I want to encourage everybody listening, please just grab your mentor's manual and read through some of these things and ponder them, think about them.
Ask questions.
Ask questions and know what when I say know what you believe and why you believe it, this is how you do it. You go in there, you read it, and you formulate your worldview. How do I see the world? On what basis of truth do I see the world, and how do I walk through that world? And that's part of it by mulling over, which is the root word for meditation is mulling, is considering, deeply considering and thinking through over and over again, same context, and coming away with, hey, this is what I believe, and this is why I believe it, and always being open to learning more and more.
Yes,
all the time,
and encouraging others too.
Absolutely,
you got to live it, and if you live it, people will want what you have once you get there.
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
We were in Lodge, maybe at our last meeting. We do this thing where we do Masonic trivia and we give away a gift card to the winner.
Right.
It's a fun thing.
It's fun.
It's quick.
It's a great idea.
It's a nice little break in the middle of a business meeting. And a newer brother raised his hand and said, "Hey, could you make these questions easier, multiple choice for us new guys?" And I said, "Hey, you need to educate yourself more.
That's
I'm not
right.
lowering my level of quality because you haven't done the work to meet your expectation." And it's not, this was funny. It was not meant in a negative way, but in reality, it's true. You need to increase your knowledge if you want to be able to participate in this stuff. It's not like we're going crazy on the trivia. They're
pretty simple questions.
Mostly out of this stuff we're talking about here.
Right. But if you have a general knowledge, if you're a master mason, you have a general knowledge of the craft, you should be able to get close to the answers of the trivia questions that you ask. And that brother needs to step up.
In life, don't let other people lower your standards, and don't let them lower their own standards.
Right.
Lift them up. Expect more from them so that they can learn how to expect more from themselves.
That's true. And they've done studies on that young men, for the longest time, in church, they were dumbing down the curriculum and the expectations of young men. They said, well, we're just giving them too much. We're giving them too much. And what they found out through studies is they weren't giving them enough.
There you go.
They weren't challenging them. And young men respond to challenges. If you don't challenge a young man, he's in neutral, and he's going to stay in neutral until you force him and challenge him to step up. And that's the way we were made. We were made that way, to do that. And when we are challenged, we do our best. That's the way it is. And that's what this craft does. It challenges us to go far beyond anything we thought we could do. Memorization alone. Most people, myself included, I didn't think I could memorize anything. And I've still got a long way to go, but I know now I can.
You've done it.
I've done it. I can do this. Yep. I can do this. And I caused a huge growth in my own life. Just my self-confidence and just my, my self-esteem.
Yeah.
To know I was in distress, brother, as an EA. I was dying.
A lot of people.
I was freaking out, but I did it. I did it.
It's true for you too. You were probably freaking out in part because nobody explained to you you didn't have to be perfect.
No,
right?
I was under the impression that there would be a test. Yeah.
I mean, you knew there was a test, but it's like to pass a test, you don't have to get 100, right?
Well,
passing score is 80 or something.
That would have been helpful information. Yes.
I think I see a lot of guys, and they're holding themselves to an impossible standard, and it's causing so much drain and stress on themselves.
Yeah.
And it's really slowing the learning progress because you're beating yourself up so much.
Yeah, I think if you just relax and do the work at your level and your ability, because everybody in the room wants you to succeed at your level and your ability anyway.
Yeah.
But don't run away from it and don't cheat it. But just do the work at your level, and what'll happen is you'll go from EA to fellow craft, and you'll begin to grow as the craft wants you and needs you to grow along the lines, because it all works together. Masonry builds upon masonry, and it goes up and up and up all the way through to the end where you are a multi-billionaire Illuminati member financing the Bush family.
Goodness. If you're a mentor, a catechism, an officer, or even an elder in a lodge, and you see new brothers coming in, please take the time to go explain to them that the catechism is a learning process and it's not a test. They don't have to be perfect.
It's not called a test. It's called proficiency.
That's right. I think if you can lower your guard down a little, you'll enjoy the whole process more.
I agree.
Hold your feet to the fire the whole time. I did the same thing.
I guess everybody kind of does, but it's good to have somebody who's already been through it just say, "Hey, easy.
You're doing
easy.
fine,
have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy this. You're only beginning. You have the rest of your life to work through all this stuff." Well, brother, I think another successful show, if I do say so myself.
Do we have more of the Master Mason degree? Or
I think we need to do one more. No, I think we need to do one more.
We have one more.
One more to do, and then we will do a couple supplementals. I've got a couple of ideas based on the emails and comments that we've been getting a lot of people saying, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do these different topics?" So we'll put together a couple topical ones, seasoned with lots of esoteric teaching. As well, because I know you guys love that stuff. We get lots and lots of comments. Keep up the esoteric type of Masonic teaching, and we will definitely do that. We have heard you.
Always.
And we will always be doing that.
But you're finally going to get something other than Fred and Chris, probably.
Yeah, we got some interviews coming up. Grand Lodge, which is the 28th of this month, last weekend of the month, Memorial Day weekend, yeah?
Johnny's coming with us, right?
And our associate producer, John Schaefer, is definitely coming with us. He is going to be manning the production side of the podcast while we're there. Worshipful Chris Burns is going to be very busy because he has a lot of different responsibilities while he's at Grand Lodge. Yeah. So Jeff, John and I.
John.
Yeah, he's new. I don't know his name.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
My name's John.
John and I will be running production. So if you're at Grand Lodge, and I think most of you listening are going to be at Grand Lodge, please come find us. We have a booth set up.
This is Grand Lodge of Florida for you guys in England.
Don't
go to the Grand Lodge of England looking for us.
Right, yeah. Come to the one in Florida, and if you do, we will definitely give you a seat up front, my brother.
Get a free
for traveling
hat.
that far. You get a free hat for sure. But yeah, come see us, shake our hands, let us get a picture with you, and we just want to meet as many people as we can there. We will be doing on-location interviews with some of the Grand Line. Very excited and honored about that. Absolutely honored about that. That's going to make some great content going forward into season 2.
And maybe we'll get a little glimpse into what's important in the with the leadership of Florida.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
they'll
think
give
so.
us a little something.
Yeah, I think
what's
so. I
coming.
mean, we've made it clear that we're not pre-screening
No,
anything. You know, all of our questions are obviously going to be respectful and purposeful. You know,
But
for the benefit of the craft.
real.
But
You're
real,
gonna get
real. Yeah. But you know, these are all great men of our craft. You know, they really are, and these are men who have devoted their entire lives to the craft, and they've made their way, all the way to to the Grand Line.
Respect.
I have big respect for every single one of them, and I'm looking forward to getting to know them, getting to meet them, and to hang out in the hotel, in the lodge. And also across the street at some of the pubs, apparently. There's a good time to be had for all there as well. So I'm looking forward to all of that. So if you're going, please come and find us. If you have any comments, anything that we've done good, you can shout out to us. But if there's something you disagree with, you always go to the front of the line. We thrive on disagreement. Just make sure you do it with gentleness and respect so we can all learn from it, including you and I.
And you may get a little special surprise if you come to the booth, potentially. Some people might be able to see what the next level of On the Level with Fred and Chris is all about.
Yeah.
Little teaser for you.
I know what you're talking about. Yep. Pretty exciting. Yeah, there's some things
Definitely
coming up here that we're very excited about. We're not going to spring them on you yet. We're going to wait for Grand Lodge to open it up. But we've got a couple of things going. Again, like Chris said, that we're pretty excited about, and I think you guys are going to love it too. So, anything else, brother, before we cut out?
No, we're only 3 weeks now from Grand Lodge.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to meeting everybody. Please come by, say hello to John Schaefer and Fred Packwood. These people are about to take prominent roles in the state of Florida.
Ooh.
And they are, outside of that, just fun people to talk to. And you can get on this show. There's a chance. Get on the air and do a shout out if they are willing to do that with you. And I think they will be. So please come by for them and for you and for us. We're really looking forward to meeting everybody. I've been to Grand Lodge twice already, but as a nobody knew me. So I was kind of able to stay I didn't hang out with anyone. I just kind of stayed to myself. So This is going to be a very different experience for me. It's your first time going to Grand Lodge.
Right.
And you're going to be busy. You're going to be meeting, talking to the big shots. So
right.
It's going to be overwhelming for you, probably your first time out there.
I thrive on it, man.
You do.
Give me the stage.
He does.
It's my stage.
He really does. He's like, everything I'm not, he is.
Well.
And I think that's why we
be thankful for that.
Kind of work together so well. I'm really in awe of the things that you do, and you do them so well.
The feeling's mutual, brother. I think that this relationship that we have was not by accident, because we fill in the gaps that each of us, lack. The gaps we lack, we fill in for each other, and it works pretty well. And that's evident by the response we've gotten, literally, again, from all over the world. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
That's my favorite part. It is a global fraternity. We're not about our lodge being all of Freemasonry or our district. No, we're a worldwide fraternity, and we're all equal together. All of us that are Masons.
We are on the level.
All of us. So, man, you'll really feel that when you go to Grand Lodge. When you stand in a room with 1,500 Masons and a prayer said, and you hear that so motive be in unison from 1,500 deep voices.
Right, yeah.
You'll get chills, I promise you. It's something special.
To it. Right, yeah, man, yeah.
Come on out.
All right, so I'm coming up with a parting saying for season 2. I don't know what it's going to be, but if you got any suggestions of a parting clever saying that gets us out of the podcast.
I have an idea.
Well, hold on to it, because I'm not asking you. I'm asking everybody listening to email it in, and we'll try to incorporate that. Everybody's got a cool tagline that they go out with, and we go out in such a cringy kind of unprofessional way. So we're going to try to fix that in season 2. A little bit. We don't want to overfix any of this. We want it to still be crazy and as unprofessional as we can possibly take it to.
No problem here.
Yeah, no problem here either.
Keep delivering that all day, every day.
All right, we could just keep talking like this for the next hour, but we're not gonna.
No.
My brothers all around the world, we love you. We thank you for everything you give it, and we will definitely see you next time.